Don't wish for it, work for it. Okay, it's a pretty fair statement, but it really is important to put the work in this business acquisition process. And I want to talk to you about a call I just had with a mentee where he's pivoted several times. He's used cold calls. He's now using emails. But his results aren't what he would hope in terms of finding motivated sellers. And so I asked him about his process, and over the past 5 or 6 weeks, I guess it is, he's ended up sending 3,500 emails. And out of those 3,500 emails, he's gotten some responses, not a lot, but some responses. And so I asked him what his process was with that. And he said, or what the results were anyway. And he said one of them was just terrible financials. Okay, that's fair. No need to go any further on that. Two of them I sent an NDA to, him talking, and they said I would see that back in early January. But I haven't seen it, so they're obviously not interested, and that's a next for me. And the last one, I don't know what happened with the last one because I was so taken by the response on the middle two, the two that he sent a NDA to each of them, but didn't hear back by the first of the year or something close to it. So let's think about that for a second. I've said over and over again, and if you are a good salesperson, you already know this, that most sales occur after 5 follow-ups. That's a big number, right? That most people, and I've talked about this in the construction industry, they come out, they do an estimate, they spend the time to do that, and they never follow up to end up saying, how was our estimate? Did it look good, etc. Now, this mentee said, no, if they're interested, they're going to send it back to me and they're going to continue the conversation. Well, how do we know that? First of all, and it has certainly happened to me, that I have emails lost. Either they go into somebody's junk file, they forget. I got an email the other day that said, oh, I thought I sent this, but it's in my outbox. Or you have an email client that ends up pre-selecting spam, so you never see it, period. All of that has happened to me. So we talked about sending an email to those people. Just wanted to follow up. If you sent the NDA back, I didn't receive it. You mentioned that you would get it to me around the first of the year, and just wanted to be sure whether or not that had been done or whether you no longer have interest in discussing this. That literally would take less than a minute to send that email. A lot of times you're going to get a response back is, no, I needed to review the NDA with my attorney, and it turns out he was off on vacation, but he's back this coming Monday, so I'll get it to you. Okay. But if you don't go through that process, that ends up being a lead that maybe something could have happened with, but because of the follow-up not happening, it doesn't happen. And then I talked with him about the process that a good salesperson would use. So let's say you're asked to quote on a piece of business, and several other people are asked to quote on a piece of business. You're asked to give a response by some date. You go ahead and do that quotation. Do you just wait and say, well, if they want to buy from me, yeah, they'll send an order or call me or whatever? No. A good salesperson would end up following up to say, did you receive our quote? Did you have any questions? Yes, no, whatever that discussion is. When do you think you're going to make a decision on this? Well, I think I'm going to make a decision on this on Friday. Oh, I'm still waiting for some proposals. Okay. So it's okay if I follow up with you, or even if you don't ask that question, still follow up. And then you want to be the last person that buyer talks to before he or she makes a decision. Because in that time, you might be able to change something or clarify something that would mean that you end up getting that that business. And having spent a whole lot of time in corporate sales, that was just the process. Yeah, I got your quotation, got two other ones. I'm kind of deciding between those two. Okay, fair enough. What points are you thinking about in deciding? Well, they have a better delivery than you do. Okay, whatever it is. So if I could end up changing that delivery without any added cost to you, would that make a difference? Yeah, that would make a big difference. Okay, let me talk to the plant. Let me be sure that what I give you is a date that we can hold to. And so I will do that. Now, another technique in sales would be if I do that and I get an answer that is better than what you're expecting here from the other person, is there any other issue there, or would you end up awarding us that business if I could fix that problem? And if the answer is, well, there's some other stuff, talk about that other stuff. If the answer is no, oh no, if you can change that delivery, because actually the other one's not that great either. It's not as quick as we want it. Yeah, if you could change that and I had confidence that you were going to meet it, yeah, I would award this business to you. Okay, so let me do some work. But if that process isn't followed up and followed through, they're going to go with the other person. They're never going to call you. You're never going to have an opportunity to match things up. So again, remember how important follow-up is. Most people that you're contacting aren't going to be sitting there never having talked to somebody else, never having woke up and said, today is the day whoever I talk to, I want to sell my business. They have reasons why they want to sell it. They have questions about the process. They may not understand a partial from a full sale because nobody's told them about that. All those things can tip things in your direction. But unless you follow up on those things and have those discussions, you'll never know. So I would encourage you strongly to follow up, make sure that you do that. And some percentage of the time, you're going to say, you know what? That actually was a great idea and it worked. And I told this person that the home next to the home here that I wanted to buy, for 5 years, I sent letters, I called, no. Finally, yeah, I think it is time I sold this. So let's make a deal here. That would not have happened if I sent one letter and never heard back and assumed that, oh, well, they're not interested in this. So there's a ton of examples I could give you, but it's worth remembering. Follow-up is critical. Okay, if you do not know how to begin processes, I would encourage you to go through the Acquisition Advantage Bootcamp recordings. If you, however, have done that, but still you wonder about starting some discussions, go over to my website, take the free class, and that's in starters for conversations that I think will be helpful. If you want to go there directly, it's just brucewhipple.com/free course. So follow up, remember it. Remember, stuff gets lost, whether it's in the mail, whether it's in emails, and by following up, you'll also uncover those things as well. So remember that, put it into action, and your results typically will be better than if you don't do that.